Little bit of a more peaceful update for y'all. This morning when I left Lethbridge, I had a day planned ahead, and I know it was going to be, 12 to 14 stops roughly. And I figured there'd be a couple that were always hard to find or impossible to find or whatever whatever it would be. But that one stop trying to find the Red Rock Coulee, according to the truck GPS, there's no such a place in existence. And according to the phone GPS, which is Google Maps, and the Google Maps at home, because that's how I planned my route, was exactly the way I drove it. The route was down some gravel roads, connected to more gravel roads, into a dead end road. So you think, okay, yeah, dead end because it's a coulee. Chances are it's not going to have a bridge going across it, or it will go down and up back out or whatever, right? So you go, and then you see the farmer's yard, but you've driven 3,800 kilometers now, and you've seen a lot of farmyards that are spreading across the road on both sides of the road. So you kind of think that still a gravel road, still, and all of a sudden the road dead ends and there's this great big body of water in front of me. Well, it was not Red Rock Coulee, it was some kind of slough bottom ending in some kind of farmer's field. So I was like, it was a little bit disappointing, but at the same time, that was why I came to this corner of Alberta, or else I would have just went straight up from, straight over from Lethbridge and saved all the 14 stops in between of nonsense. However, that being said, the 14 stops in between were worth it, because I got some nice photos of old buildings and such that made the hassle worth it. So I came to terms with the fact that I wasn't going to see Red Rock Coulee, and I pointed her toward Medicine Hat. Later, lo and behold, 150 kilometers later, detour, 50 kilometers out of Medicine Hat, there's a sign that said Red Rock Coulee. And I'm like, essentially where the GPS told me to turn right, I should have turned left and all would have been fine. But it's when you're following GPSs and you don't entirely know exactly what's going on or where you're going, because you've never been there before and you're putting your faith in the software, which you never should do, because GPSs are only as good as the programming, and they're programmed by people, and people have bad days, right? And that's why people end up driving off of bridges or into people's basements, because the GPS told them to. And so I made my way to Medicine Hat, filled up at the fuel station, because I knew it was going to be a dry run, because it was a long kilometer wise, and I still have my jerry cans or gas cans from the mountains that with gas in them. So I knew that I would be okay. So I went and filled up and found me a campsite. Wheeled in here to the gas lane campsite. Not 100% sure why they call it gas lane campsite. If it's around a bunch of gas plants and I'll get gassed out in the night, or if this used to be an old oil plant or gas plant that's been reclaimed, or what. But it's a fairly nice campsite, upon first impressions anyway. There's a nice big office just over yonder, kind of behind that tree, and there looks to be a bathhouse or at least bathrooms just over there, so you don't have to make the 100-yard dash, it's only 50. And there's a bunch of trailers and other campers all over the place. Well, I wheeled in here looking for a stall, and lo and behold, The first thing she said was she didn't have any available. And then she said, oh, just hang on a minute, I think we had a cancellation. So the cancellation was for a stall that was 35 feet. So I'm not sure how they measure for the stall itself, but I got both the truck and the trailer in the stall, and room to unhitch and all that good stuff. Pretty much, look, you can kind of tell. So gonna sit here, enjoy my evening, and rest for the night, and then continue on with tomorrow. Well, hello internets, here we are. We come to the end of another day. It's been a good day. It's been an overcoming day, and well, it's a good day either way. One thing about this here journey that I'm on, it's helping me work through the anxiety that I was feeling. Anxiety of being alone, anxiety of being in strange places, anxiety of not knowing where I am or where I'm going. It's helping work through, or at least helping me to learn to get a grips on situations like that. You know, being in dead zones and then the GPS is not working, where I have to navigate my way out without really knowing where to go. You know, following the sun, keeping the sun on certain side of you to navigate, you know that way's west or that way's east because it's approximately this time of day or whatever, right? And being in strange towns, strange areas that you've really never been in at all before, and being alone without anybody around you that you know that you're familiar with, and having to live that way for the best part of a month, which is what almost I've been at here. Another week and a half or so, and it will be a month exactly, I believe, that I've been out here. So probably right around the time I'm done my journey, it'll be really, really close to being a month that the journey, which is roughly the timeline that I had set out anyways, right? Through other towns that I went through that, well, I've never been before. You know, seeing how they live, seeing how simple sometimes they live. 90% of these towns didn't even have stoplights or streetlights. They were just a village or hamlet or whatever they call them to classify them as. And then you get to a town like Lethbridge that was 90,000 people and everybody is go, go, go and aggressive. Well, you know, I wasn't used to that kind of driving because I had spent the last, 2.5 weeks or 3 weeks in small little 4,000 population towns, right? And even Medicine Hat here with 65 or so thousand people. A little more at home there, but at the same time, it was still a bigger city. It has everything that I need here. Don't know about a Canadian Tire, but it has a Walmart for sure, which is most definitely a bonus. I should buy groceries because I've used up my last loaf of bread. I've used up my open loaf of bread, and I've down to half a thing of cheese, half a thing of margarine. However, I'm going to push it a little bit, and whether I buy groceries in Brooks at a store or if I buy groceries in Drumheller, where I'm going to spend the best part of 3 days there, if not more. And then I move on to another loop, end up ultimately in Wetaskiwin for 3 or so days, and then, well, that's sort of the tail end-ish of it. I have to decide what direction I'm going after that or from there, and we will cross that bridge when we get there. Like I've mentioned before in previous vlogs here in this series, there's things in life you need to worry about, like your health. You know, you can have the best of truck, the best of house, the most prettiest of figure, but that doesn't matter if your mental, physical well-being, health is poor. If you're a wreck because you have allowed yourself to become abused, neglected, run down, tore up, without we've given everything to everything from yourself to take care of others, you know, and then never gotten anything in return. You need to replenish yourself. And I know there were times on this journey that was a little bit stressful, but it's definitely been a good journey so far to this point anyway. You know, there's always the unknown, but we don't worry about the unknown until the unknown becomes known, you know? But it is what it is, and around we go. Today was a good day. Tomorrow we pull out and go on to another town. It'll be what it is, and around we go. And as always, thanks for watching Maxwell's Vlogs. Comment, subscribe, and enjoy.